honestly, I feel the folks that we work with genuinely care about you in your life and things outside of work, which is also important, right? They know that, yes, work's important, but the work-life balance is also important. And I think, we do have a focus on that. And, people, whether it's your families, your interest, anything else, I mean, people genuinely care and are interested in what you're interested in.
Hello, folks. My name is Josh Martin. I'm the talent marketing manager here at Aramark. I'm here today with Patrick Shea, who's going to tell us a little bit about his experience as a legal professional with Aramark. Patrick, could you go ahead and introduce yourself for the folks listening?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Pat Shea. I've been with Aramark for a little over 5 years, and I'm an assistant general counsel in the legal department.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be here with you, Patrick, and thank you for taking the time, of course. I wanted to get this conversation started by asking you to just describe how you kind of entered the legal field in the first place and what your educational background is.
Yeah, so I went to Drexel for my undergrad, and I had a few co-ops while I was there, one of which was at an investment firm. My job was really to review, the prospectus for investments in private equity. I, kind of really centered in and geared towards a lot of the legal language that was in the back of those prospectus. And, it was really interesting to me and how they worded things and how, they were presenting their opportunities. At that time, I really had never considered, being a lawyer. So, I got really interested in it, started looking into it and decided, hey, I think I'm going to give it a shot. To me, I talked to a lot of folks before I did it. And, really it was just opportunities, right? There's a whole host of things you can do as being a lawyer. So, why not take that chance and kind of see where your career kind of guides you, particularly if you have this type of interest. I've always had a business interest, and, it's just something that made sense at the time. And ultimately it's kind of worked out and helped guide me to a place, where I feel great in my career and what I'm doing and, my involvement, with the business at Aramark. And, I did kind of indicate, my undergrad was at Drexel. I also then, when I decided to apply to law schools, I knew I wanted to be in the Philadelphia area. I ended up going to Temple, so I'm Philadelphia kind of through and through, which, also is great, leading me to Aramark as a Philadelphia company. So.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that story repeats itself across the legal space, that kind of not necessarily sure where you want to go with it, but getting that legal background is a great place to start. Lots of directions you can go. So, you mentioned that you ended up in the Philadelphia area and wanted to go there, but I'm curious how you specifically ended up applying to being interested in Aramark itself.
Yeah, it was actually through networking. One of, my former colleagues at Aramark, I knew before they actually came to Aramark. I, at the time, was working in litigation, and we knew each other through our spouses. And she indicated to me that, hey, there's a job opening. I think you'd be great for it. It seems like the things that you're really interested in, you should apply. So I started doing a little more research. At the time, to me, Aramark truthfully was, the Phillies and Eagles, stadium provider, right? That's kind of what I knew. As I started to dig into it, I kind of saw the breadth of everything that Aramark's involved in. And, the fact that they're a Philadelphia company, Fortune 200 company, it really kind of piqued my interest, as well as, her glowing recommendation that, you would really like it here. You're going to like the atmosphere. You're going to like the people. And to me, that's very important. Culture has always been extremely important to me. I also wanted to transition into transactional work, and it gave me that opportunity. So kind of, everything aligned, and it was the perfect opportunity for me to kind of pursue at that time.
Yeah. You mentioned that, you thought of the sports stadiums and that's what you knew, but I've been with Aramark for just about a year now, and I'm still learning about like new services and operations and geographies that they work in. So it's just like, on top of the career stuff and what I'm learning professionally, the growth opportunity across all those sectors and lines of business is just like staggering. So I think that's something that people don't often know entering the organization in the first place. So that's always interesting.
Yeah, no, and I mean, honestly, 5 years I've been at Aramark, and I still learn things that, Aramark's
Yep.
involved in, or new areas that they're pursuing, and it keeps it interesting, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's a
Yeah,
whole
definitely.
host of things that we do here as a company that, it's just great and really important work. When you're describing it to someone that, may have the same impression that I originally had about Aramark, they kind of say, wow, right? Like that
Hmm.
there's such a, expansive area that you all are involved in.
Yeah, and it's a sprawling business for sure. And I'm curious to hear what your experience has been like as far as actually being encouraged to chase after new opportunities, and how Aramark or the leaders within the organization have supported your personal growth and career development.
It's always something that's at the top of the mind for, the leaders, and making sure that you're getting those opportunities. And it's one of the things that, is really important to me. Like I said, when I came to Aramark, I was a litigator. I didn't really have any transactional experience. I also, was mainly doing insurance defense litigation. Now I'm in the healthcare group. I am our subject matter expert with respect to HIPAA BAAs. So I was given the opportunity to kind of learn, develop my skill set and explore that area, an area that, prior to coming to Aramark, I didn't know anything about the healthcare industry. And now, I'm kind of viewed as our internal expert, on things related to healthcare. And it's really just a great opportunity to continue to learn, continue to develop your skill set. And, in areas that are extremely, just marketable and important right now, generally, right? I mean,
Hmm.
healthcare industry is growing. It's extremely important. There's all different opportunities that are available. And the main thing is just the willingness to kind of have, an open mind and be willing to try, right? So there's plenty of opportunities out there, and there's plenty of opportunity that we are made available to us. And really they're, looking for someone just to go and try,
Hmm.
and giving you the resource to kind of make sure that you're supported in doing it, right? So they made sure to kind of give me the appropriate resource so that I could get up to speed quickly. And now, I don't need to use that resource as much as I did in the beginning, right? But there's plenty of those opportunities, and it's really great to kind of continue the growth. There's always an interesting area that you can get involved in, and our senior leadership are always thinking of different areas. Hey, you expressed an interest, why don't you try something like this? Or I want to get you involved with this project, to kind of continue that development, so you're not kind of getting stagnant or anything like that.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's great. And you mentioned that willingness to try as a good trait, and also combined with the fact that leaders are supportive and pushing you. I'm curious to hear what else about being at Aramark and the culture here is special as far as being a legal professional.
Sometimes it's kind of cliche to say, it's very collegial, but it is. I mean, we truly enjoy the people we work with. And, I feel like in the legal department, everyone brings their true self to the company, and are able to be their true self, which is important. And you get that different perspective, and everybody's very supportive. It's a real team atmosphere, which, I really liked, particularly coming from a litigation background where you have your caseload, you're kind of on your own. Here it's definitely not that way. You're interacting with your colleagues, you're, figuring out different ways to do things, or, talking about, hey, this is how I did this in this case. What would you have done? And really just having that kind of collaborative approach is extremely important.
Hmm.
The other thing is, I mean, honestly, I feel the folks that we work with genuinely care about you and your life, and things outside of work, which is also important, right? They know that, yes, work's important, but the work-life balance is also important. And I think, we do have a focus on that. And, people, whether it's your families, your interest, anything else, I mean, people genuinely care and are interested in what you're interested in.
Hmm. Yeah, that's huge, especially as you get to more senior level positions and get more responsibility. Sometimes with a lot of organization, that work-life balance tends to go out the window. But it's good to hear that that is maintained as you grow in your career. That's huge.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but hopefully hearing your story and some of the other stories of how people have grown at Aramark will inspire others to, go ahead and apply. I'm just curious what you would say to folks who are considering either starting their legal career or transitioning their legal career to Aramark.
Yeah. So, I mean, the main thing is just be confident in your skill set. So, you've obviously gotten to the point in your career where you've done many things, or, you've learned through your experience in law school or what it may have been, a skill set, and it will translate, so don't be nervous, be confident, even if you haven't had experience in that exact area yet. For myself, I didn't have any healthcare experience, and, now I'm viewed as kind of the healthcare, internal expert. So it's really just being confident in your skill set, and you're going to still continue to learn and develop that skill set. And then the other, kind of piece would just make sure to bring your true self. It's very important. Who you are is important, and your different perspective is important, right? So, as long as you bring your true self, I think you're going to be successful and really, have a great fit and, be able to kind of succeed here. So.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Patrick. It's been great getting to know you a little bit. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you leave us with before we close up here?
No, just thank you for the opportunity. Really, really great to kind of talk about my time here at Aramark. So
awesome. Well, on that note, have a great one. Enjoy your weekend. Talk
thanks.
soon.